So it's snowing right now. Yay. It's really cold though. I absolutely hate winter because it's freezing cold. Now, I love Christmas, but only when you've got children. I feel like Christmas is like a child thing or a young person's thing. When you're old and don't have kids, you're just like, ugh. So yeah, Christmas isn't very good right now. But yeah. Anyway, I almost went to see the Emma Bunton concert, but it got cancelled because she was ill or something. Seriously, if I spent months preparing for a show and my doctor advised me to not do it, I would do it unless, of course, I really, really can't sing. In fact, to be honest, I don't even know if I would be singing live. So even if I can't sing, when I get coughs, my coughs last for a very long time. And I got a cough before I went to Athens, and it's still here. So, but yeah, I know you can't really be coughing on stage. But it's a weird thing though. I went to a Blue concert 2 weeks, and I didn't cough throughout like the whole of that, or maybe in the interview or something. But interval, I think maybe the heat or something. I don't know what it was, but I didn't cough throughout the show, and I was worried that I might be just like coughing throughout the whole show, but I didn't. But yeah, I hope she gets better, but yeah, I would only cancel a show if I really, really had to. But technically, my mum was supposed my mum was supposed to go with me, and she cancelled last minute because my sister was at her flat in London, and she'd got a friend over, and for for her to come, she would have had to like leave my sister and her friend in their flat, and she doesn't like doing it. So my sister's I don't know, but she doesn't really know this guy very well. But yes, I um, I had a client 2 days ago who I really like, gave me a really nice present, and he's made me think about quite a lot of things. Like he asks questions that are far more intelligent than other questions. Um, the the guy who reminded me of Job, the one who had lots and then lost it and became a homeless person. And when I first talked to him, he sounded really smart. And then the second time I met him, and the third time as well, um, just didn't want to know any of the evidence that I had. And the evidence, I was saying, I've got tons of evidence that proves that I'm a god, or I'm Christ at least. It doesn't prove that I'm a god, it proves that I'm Christ. But I was with this guy. I was kind of, he was talking like, so if you if all this evidence is pointing to you, have you thought that maybe it's not that you're a god, but rather that you're just Christ and that something else is a god? And my response to that was, I think about these. It's a very good question to ask. Not like the other one who would just be like, oh, it means nothing. If someone tells me that my name, Anna, sort of hidden throughout names within the Bible that seem to make no sense unless you're talking about a person, you're saved by grace, how can you be saved by grace? But if grace means Anna, that makes sense. Most idiot people just be like, oh, well, there's loads of Anna B's. It could be any Anna B, or just completely deny it at all. Oh, it means nothing. It's just a coincidence, even though the list of things is long. Whereas this guy, he's seen it, and he would ask a smarter question, which is, okay, it's pointing that you're probably Christ, but it might not necessarily mean that you're God, and that's a very good question. And I think I responded by saying that if if I'm not God and if it's something else, the only thing I want to do is beat this thing up. God is supposed to be seen at the end of the age, and maybe it's just seen through me. It chooses a subject, it tortures it by getting loads of things to point to this person, and then at the end, this person is exposed, and God also is exposed because God has sort of made everything link. That's a possibility. There's a possibility that my name, Hosanna, Hosanna, and lamb with a B at the end of it. Why is there a B in lamb? When But if my surname's B, then again it points to me. I am B. It says. If you change the L into the I. But yeah, I just there's a possibility that that's true, but it's not, because my life is shit. I have shit parents. I've been trapped I've seen like huge amounts of things like songs and films and stuff that seem to link to me or seem to be about me. Like not all of it, it's not obvious. I think you'd only be able to see how it links to me if you actually knew me, or if you knew what I was doing the week that I watched the film. And so it's not very, very obvious. But the thing is, if someone else comes and says, yeah, I'm God, I did this to Anna. The only thing I want to do is beat this person up or put them in prison, or like, why would, if God is going to choose a subject, God would surely make that subject happy enough so that when that person is exposed, they might be like, yeah, like with all the singers and celebrities, like, I know not all of them are happy, but my throat is just feels clogged up. But a lot of them, they have nice lives. They have a massive mansion. They have family that can support them. Most of them, they have a lot of good things in their life. Okay, there's a lot of bad, which is mostly the people. But I think if any of them, if any of them knew that God has helped give them their career and you know, give them their stuff, I'm sure that most of them would be like, oh wow, thank you God, thank you for helping me with my career and helping me with the songs. And not all of them have, like Britney Spears might not say that towards me, but most of them would be um, grateful for the life that they have. Whereas with me, that's 100% not. I want to know why this person is not giving me anything good, anything nice. And okay, I don't know why it's been for so long. I'm absolutely pissed off. But yeah, if someone else claims to be God and it comes forward on the scene and claims to be God, I'd just be like, well, then why did you do this to me? Because whatever's happened to me is supernatural. Whatever's been going through in my life, it's got, it's not something a normal person, it's not something a human has done. It's something that a spiritual God has done. And yeah, it's, with a lot of people, oh, this person died, it's God's fault, blah, blah, blah. Some people might be like that. I'm just coughing the whole time. My cough is mean nothing right now. It's just like going all over the place. But yeah, there's a lot of people that would contribute things to God, even though God had absolutely nothing to do with it. If your nephew died or whatever, I've got nothing to do with it. It's just life. You get life, and and it gets taken away sometimes. And with most people, almost everything in their life can't really 100% be sure. You can't be 100% sure that God has done that. Whereas things like my name hidden within the Bible, that's not that's not something a human has done. Humans didn't write, well, humans did write English, but it's they wouldn't have known about me back then. So it can't have been that. But yeah, and there's another thing, which is, would I really put myself in the situation that I'm in? Because if I'm God and I've put myself in the situation that I'm in, having such an awful shit life and hating it, I feel like there's a reason why I've done that. If something else has done this to me, then I'm not going to be saying anything nice about it. I'm not going to be complimenting him or complimenting it or her or whoever has done this. I have absolutely nothing nice to say to them, and therefore there would be no point of choosing me to be a subject to represent God or to lead people to God. Christ is supposed to lead people to God, either that or be God herself. And yeah, with the life that I've lived, there's no way whatsoever I would be leading people to anyone else other than myself. If it's me, then fine. I can't hurt myself for hurting my life, because I've already done that. I can't beat up myself. But if God is something else, then I would 100% have nothing nice to say about this thing, and I wouldn't be leading it to anything if it thought that the life that it's given me is fair for one of its people. It's just, there's no way I'll be. And I think if with all the singers and celebrities, if they knew that a God was helping them, I don't think they would I don't think they'd be able to say as many nasty things as I would say. So therefore, that's how I know Christ, or I am God as well. Because if it's something else, if God is something else, why would it choose me? I'm not overly giving, or I'm not an overly charitable person. There would be no reason why God, if God isn't me, there'll be no reason why God would choose me to be a subject, and there's no reason why. There's no reason why it would do it and give me the life that I give, because I hate anything that's done this to me, unless it, of course, if it's myself. And and why would I give myself a question? That is the question, the biggest question. If I am God, why have I given myself such an awful shit life? Why have I been able to help so many people and yet I can't help myself? This makes no sense because it's left me feeling like I hate the world. Like you know, I don't want to be here. Uh, like I'm pissed off or angry with everyone, and you know, maybe that's the why it's set this up. I mean, I think people know, and I feel like it's easy. I rather blame them for not helping me. Whoever knows, if they know, like I don't even 100% know that they know because maybe the spirit is just really, really powerful and is getting people to do things without me, um, without them knowing. I mean, it's very powerful. But if it's so powerful, then why has it done absolutely nothing for me? Um, and so it's just really, it's not complicated. It's like there's unanswered questions that I don't know, and I feel like I'm only going to get those in death, and therefore, what's happened to me is it just makes me want to die all the time. So yeah, if you can't understand why I'd want to die, um, then you don't believe that I'm God because I've only if I'm God, then I've been alive for millions of years, and I don't like what the situation that I'm in. So I don't want to be in the situation. And if I was happy, you know, a few years before I was born, if I was happy before I was human, then I want to go back to being happy because when I was not human, I was obviously alive for a very long time because there's evidence that I've done things throughout the timeline. So I want to go back to the timeline and I don't want to. Now, the only reason why I could think why my higher self would give me such an awful shit life is because she herself is very, very happy, um, has no, you know, if you're living in not paradise, but if you're living in a world where you can time travel, or in a matrix world, or a world where, you know, if I'm a ghost and I can walk into any house, and you know, if I just want to chill out in like the nicest house in the world, I can easily do that. And okay, there might be people living in it, but um, I don't know what I can do as a god. Maybe I can even like just ignore them or just use the houses when they're not there. And you know, these people work. People that have big houses are also people that work a lot, so they're probably hardly ever using the houses. So if I wanted to just be a ghost and just like live in every single house, or every single nice house, then I would do that, and I could go to every single spa and every single, you know, there's so much things I could do if I was a ghost. And so yeah, if I was a ghost living a very, very happy life with everything that I want, maybe I would put myself in a horrible situation where I have parents who I hate who have a junky flat and they're hoarders um, and I don't know. I don't understand why I've done this to myself. Um, I would say there's one reason, which is that it could be a test. You know, a lot of people would say that I can't be God because I'm not rich. I can't be God because God wouldn't do this to herself. Um, you know, I would argue that's wrong, because it's happened. It's happened. There's evidence that I'm Christ. I believe that I'm God because if something else has done this to me, I would want to do nothing but beat it up. And I'm not going to be saying anything nice about anyone, any human, any person, any God, nothing, unless of course it's myself, in which case I don't know if I would necessarily say good things, but I'm definitely not going to be beating myself up. But I think I've already done that. But yeah, that makes sense. If I've given myself such an awful shit life as a test to see if people would be able to recognize whether God would do this to herself. I mean, I would say I wouldn't do this to myself, but the evidence is proving that I'm Christ and that Christ, you know, is God, because I'm not going to be saying anything good about God. And God, you're supposed to see God at the end of the age. And I don't know, it's just in this big circle, and this is quite a long-winded video. I wish I could talk logically about this to someone, you know, find out why my higher self would have got bunch of people to know about me and ignore me for 10 years. I don't know why I would have done that to myself, um, other than to make me hate everyone. But I'm pretty sure if you would have put me on TV, you know, 2, 3, 4 years ago, I still would have hated everyone because you had already ignored me for, you know, 7, 8 years, or 6, 5, even after 3 years, I was so fucking pissed off with everyone. So I just don't understand why it had to be 10. You know, I've got no chance of living a normal life before or after. Um, and I don't want to live a normal life. I just want to die and like and just not be here. But yeah, I I don't know what else to say.